Yes, yes, I have a very special guest on the Go Us podcast, a true point guard, Riddle. Please introduce yourself to the people, man. One of my favorite players already. He was at the camp. I'm talking about a true point guard. Without further ado, man, please introduce yourself and to the people at the Go Us podcast.
Hi, how's everybody doing? My name is Ty Riddle. I'm a 6 foot point guard. I'm currently a sophomore at Bucks County Community College out here in Pennsylvania, and looking for opportunity to continue my career for the next 2 years at the highest level possible, and then eventually move on to being pro.
Let me tell you something. It was great to see a throwback point guard, a guy that I say pass first but can score, and he's rough on defense, and he's going to play on both sides of the ball. He was a real joy to have at the camp. So for me, I have to go into your background and ask you, who are you inspired by as far as point guard?
To be honest with you, I'm inspired by my mom and my father.
Okay.
My father had renal issues, and my mom faced cancer in her life. My mom was luckily enough to beat cancer. So those have kind of been my biggest role models. For example, my father, he didn't have his degree when I was born. He built the courage and decided to go back to school and get his degree after I was born. So that's where I get my drive to stay in school and keep doing that academic part. And I also get that from my mom as well, because she finished college in 3 years. She was able to finish early.
Wow.
So that's where I get my drive from, and that's really my whys and who I really do it for, as well as myself, of course.
So you don't have, listen, let me tell you something. That's very inspiring just to understand that you have strong people in your family. You come from a strong background of people getting it done. So, I noticed one thing about you from the moment I met you. Responsibility must be very high on your list.
Yes.
Accountability must be very high on your list.
Absolutely.
Because this guy came all the way to New Orleans, self-efficient. You need me to pick, he called me, you want to pick me up or I could catch an Uber. He pretty much had everything solved, signed up for the camp, found all the resources, found his hotel, did XYZ, and just was on it. So that's just a testament to what? Your background, your parents, who you are. You look like you just about your business. Now, I'll tell you, coach, this is a guy to me. Any of the coaches, once I hit his interview, because y'all going to I'm going to send it out, this is the guy you just have to give him your best, and he going to give you his best, but at the same time, he's very accountable. He's just going to take care of his business. He's just about his business. So now, you're not inspired by all them great point guards coming out of New York City. You're not inspired by no
it's
point
a few. It's a few. I'm not gonna lie, it's a few. But one
that's what I'm like,
person.
hold up, man. Not a Booker Smith, not a
Nah, I'm gonna be honest. You want to know who inspired me for real when I was younger? It was Shabazz Napier when he was at UConn.
That's what I'm saying. Shabazz,
Like,
Telford, somebody, man. Like,
yeah.
no point guards from New York.
It's a few because if you were to ask me who I model my game after, I couldn't really sit here and say one specific guard, because one thing about me is I love to learn. So I like to take from this guy's bag, and put it together and include it into my bag.
Yeah, hybrid bag.
Twist on it. Yeah. So Shabazz Napier, that whole little UConn run, that was just an eye opener for me. UConn actually became my dream school after watching him play. And then after that, it was just a mixture of the dedication.
No Kemba Walker.
It's not that he wasn't that, but that's not who I was watching. I'll be honest, because I'm not gonna come on here and say, yeah, I was watching this person, I was watching Dame do this and that. I'd be lying to you, because in all reality, I was on the court just as much as they were. So when I did find the time to actually study the game and realize what's what and what level I really want to play at, then that definitely helped me and opened my eyes for sure.
Okay. So let me ask you this: what is your style of play? You would say is your style of
play. My style of play is,
how would you describe it?
I would say it's a pretty simple game, right? So I can create for myself, but I can create for others just as well as I can create for myself. I always love to see my teammates eat. And as you said before, I get scrappy on both ends of the court, on offense and defense. One thing that before my father passed away, one thing that he told me was hard work always beats talent, right? So I could have the offensive bag, I could work on my shot, I could work on my handles as much as I want to. But if I can't defend, if I can't guard, it's no point. Then I can't play. So one thing I try to take pride on, and obviously I'm not as tall as everybody else. I'm not a 6'3" guard. I'm not a 6'4" guard. But my heart makes up for my height, right? I'm scrappy. I'm a 94 feet type of guard. I'll guard you full court. If you press me, I'm under control. I have a high IQ. I'm one of those guards that likes to work with the coach and see what the coach likes. So during a free throw or during a timeout, I'll come over to the coach, give the coach my thoughts, see what he's thinking, see what he wants me to run. During free throws, I like to get my team together and huddle up. Like, I'm a leader, you know what I'm saying? So
100%. 100%. Let me ask you the question.
Mhm.
If you had to describe your game in one word, what would it be?
Multi-dimensional.
Wow. Wow. Let me tell you something. You got to expound on that. You got to expound. I'm not going to act like I know what that means. I'm not going to act like they know what that means. You give it to us, man. Don't hold us back.
I got you.
Multi-dimensional.
Yeah, multi-dimensional. So
all right.
Being one-dimensional means you can only do one thing. And as a basketball player, if you can only do one thing, you're easy to guard, right? So let's say, for example, on the offensive end, there's some guards who might like to watch Stephen Curry, James Harden all day, just step back threes. I'm not like, yeah, I could shoot the three at a high clip, but I'm not into that. I'd rather score at an efficient level. I'd rather get back on defense, get a stop, run a team offense, and get us back into our flow. So being one-dimensional is doing everything for me. That's talking on the court. That's being a great teammate on and off the court. That's respecting the refs, having good sportsmanship, and just having that winner's mentality. Because without all of that, like, you're not a real player. You have to have hard work. You have to have the drive. You have to stand for something, or you might fall for nothing.
Let me tell you something. You know how somebody say everything that you're saying right now? Well, what you're saying is exactly who you are. Matter of fact, you actually probably ran into a mirror of yourself this weekend, right? You see that kid Lazaro?
Yes.
He has the same mentality where you guys was pretty much mixing it up. He plays hard, you play hard. But what I can appreciate that both of you guys had a lot of love and respect, and y'all was doing things to make sure that your teammates are in right positions to try to win.
Right.
So let's get into it, man. Because your journey is different. So here's a question for you right here, man. What are some of the challenges that you had to face in this journey, and how did you overcome them?
Well, for starters, I wasn't always as good as I am now. I would say I'm a late bloomer, so I had to work harder than most to get where I'm at. I never really kind of had a straight path through basketball, whether that was transportation issues or not being able to go somewhere because of not having the funding, or just a simple thing like injuries. Like, for example, in high school, I got hurt. I was in a boot. That's why I decided to go take the JUCO route so I could build my strength, build my academics, and then feel like I'm mentally and physically ready to play at the collegiate level, at the highest level possible. So basketball for me, it was like, you only get what you put into it. So I give it my all. And sometimes in the journey of trying to find where you want to go, you get blindsided and it makes you want to give up. It makes you feel all these type of emotions. But when you just keep working and let God worry about the rest and let God handle what he handles and control what you can control, then everything is a lot easier.
Let me ask you this. So let's get into it then. That's a great point. Just the journey. I think sometimes guys have it in their mind where I play college. I play high school. I go to college. I go to the pros. Right. And I think that they don't understand that there's so much in between stuff that you're going to have to deal with. There's so many different states of mind that you're going to have to live through. There's going to be a lot of things that you're going to have to do. You're going to have to man up, and you're going to have to grow up real quick, because what happens, you're basically entering into an industry that has a lot of talent and not a lot of time. Right. So you got to get a lot of things done. You have to develop. You got to make a lot of adjustments. So let's talk a little bit about some of your dreams and some of the sacrifice that your parents had to make, for you to live this dream, and some of the values that they instilled in you as well as on and off the court. Let's talk about some of those things. Let's take it as a two-part question. What's some of the sacrifice that your parents had to make, and some of the things some of that value and belief systems that they put inside of you in order for you to continue living that dream and chasing that dream as we speak?
Well, first and foremost, like I said, my father was a renal patient. So he had to go to dialysis at 6 a.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday every week. And if I had a training session late at night at Monday, At 10 o'clock, he's taking me. If my mom has work in the morning, she'll take me if she can. I feel like they always made exceptions in their career and who they were as a person just for me to be great because they saw my potential. Obviously, they're my parents, but they also see my potential and how far I could get. Now, as far as everything that they've instilled in me, sometimes it gets hard, obviously. I'm from New York. I'm out here in Pennsylvania, so the mental aspect gets hard. But just understanding what my parents went through, and as you said, the sacrifices that they gave for me to be where I'm at now, it kind of gives me that motivation of not if he can do it, I can do it, but more so they were showing me how to do it. They were showing me how to face adversity and still go through it as strong as possible.
Well, I'll tell you this. So I'm going to ask you the next question because it falls right in line with everything that we're talking about.
Mhm.
All right. So what drives you to want to
What's
continue to play college basketball? What is the drive that keep you? Because look, you're not about excuses, but what's the motivation to keep you rolling? And where's that drive come from? We understand it's your parents, but there's, I got a clothing line with my nephew and it's called Go Me. How do you keep finding that goal? How do you keep putting that battery in your back and finding that reason to say, yo, man, I can get it done. I can play college. I can do things. Because we know you're playing college right now. And
Right.
You probably can continue doing what you're doing, but you want to change and you want to see some different things. But let me ask you a question. What is the drive? Why do you keep doing it?
Honestly, I keep doing it for myself. Yeah, I had talks with my mom. I've had talks with my sister and obviously my father before I passed away about doing it for them. But the same as much as I do it for them, they tell me I have to do it for myself. Now, there's always a saying that coaches always say to players, I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself.
Period.
So me, I wake up every morning with I don't have to necessarily do everything better than I did yesterday, but at least 1% better every day is a step in the right direction. Now, becoming a better basketball player, it might not always look like this. Sometimes it looks like this. Sometimes it looks like this. Sometimes it looks like this. It's always different. But for me, I just know I feel like my potential is so high that I'm the only one holding myself back. So if there's nothing holding me back besides myself, nothing could stop me. And I feel like without that and with a strong positive mentality, I can accomplish my dreams. So I really keep myself going every day. I've been through a lot growing up. And that's really what drives me to just keep going. Never doubt myself, never give up on myself, and just keep working, just stay positive because I survived every single one of my hardest days that I thought I was never going to make it through, and I'm still here now.
That's deep. That's deep. Let me tell you something. That's a strong testament. Like you say,
Mm-hmm.
no testimony without a test. I tell you that.
Right.
Let me tell you something. You seem like a very good young man and you have your head on straight and you understand, that it's going to take some toughness, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going to take some belief, right?
Absolutely.
It's going to take some high value to get it done. So here's a great question for you right here. What area of your game are you currently working on to improve?
Honestly, I'm looking to improve on my leadership skills, to be honest with you. I feel like I do a good job on the court and off the court, but I feel like there's certain areas that I can also expand on. Like, for example, helping teammates get out their head, finding a better way to communicate with them mid-game, because I had this conversation with some of my teammates at the camp and all of that, where I might be able to talk to one person as...
You was excellent. I mean, look, bro, you was excellent at the camp. You was excellent. Excellent. Right. And the team you was on played well. I mean, I think y'all won all your games. Y'all lost maybe one.
Yeah, we only lost one game.
Yeah.
So it's just like understanding my teammates, but also understanding myself as a leader and what value I can add to the team. So as I said before, a lot of players, they might not like their role. Good players, they accept their role, and great players, they find a way to thrive at their role. Me, I know what I can do and I know what value I add to the team. It's just sometimes I need to find different ways to mix it in with the team. So at the camp, it was a kid on the other team. His name was Marcus. He's younger than me, obviously.
Oh, yeah, that's one of my guys, sophomore, man.
Yeah, he
didn't
made
invite
a
too many
move.
young guys to the camp because I didn't want them to get it. I probably had one kid in there, two sophomores and one eighth grader. Was a kid named Hudson, which is really good young player.
Yeah, Hudson's on my team.
Yeah, he's gonna be nice, man.
He's gonna be nice.
I just wanted him to be in that heat and deal with you guys and see what it's like if you have the wildest dream of playing college. That way, he played against college guys before, so you have nothing to be afraid of. So that's that's a little bit of a technique, just to let him see what's possible. And y'all guys didn't take it easy on me. He got ripped at half court a few times.
Yeah.
He was like he hung out. Listen, I told his dad, I'm so proud of him. His dad was like, yo, thank you for letting him come to the camp. They say he went and played in his next game, and I think he had something like 30 something.
Oh yeah.
So it was like, yo, I could play against them dudes. I could play against my age group, 9th grade or whatever. Because he's an 8th grader going to 9th grade. So he had like 30 something. So y'all guys inspired that young guy to be like, yo, I'm here. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? So thank y'all guys for doing that, man.
Absolutely.
So I have one more question. I have about maybe 2 more questions, man. You're doing so good on the interview. This might be the shortest, best interview I've ever done. You're so punctual like I thought you would be. So now, if a college coach saw you play right now, what would be one of the first things he would notice about your game?
It's a great question. I feel like the first thing he would notice about my game is how hard I go. Because like me, I'm the type of player, I could miss a shot. I might get in my head the next play, but I still have that next play mentality. So I'm always going to try to get back on defense. Yeah, I might not automatically get the steal, but if we get the stop and go down, that doesn't necessarily mean I have to come down and score. I might be able to come down, get in the paint, get 2 feet in the paint, hit my corner shooter for the knockdown 3. So little stuff like that, I feel like is the first thing a coach will notice. I guess that falls under high IQ, honestly.
Yes,
because
it does.
I'm able to see the game for what it is, but also see what I can take from the defense at the same time. Because I'm not a player that likes to force stuff, but I could take it if I really want to.
I saw that. I saw that at the camp. Y'all need a bucket, you'll take it. You play with a great pace. How did you develop that pace? Like, how did you get the patience to play with that pace? Turn it on, turn it off. And you're relentless as far as like you're gonna guard, you're gonna talk on picks, you're gonna do all the things that's why I say, coaches, I'm telling you now, if you want a point guard that's gonna run the whole system and make your job easy, it's your point guard right here. We got 3 schools that we're gonna send him out to visit, and I know that he's gonna do his thing. But like I say, coaches, if you need a point guard that's going to run the whole thing and make your job easy, this is the young man right here. This is the guy. You can't get Lazaro because he already signed, right? So to me, these were the top point guards. We had one of the guys that was really tough, but he signed as well. But this is a pure point guard here. This is a pure, not only from bringing it up, passing it to the side, he understands sets. He also understands what the other team has as an advantage. He's going to negate whatever they're trying to do, and he's going to help you coach. You know how you say it, coach on the floor, this is this. This is this kid. He's that. He's that guy. And he showed me he had even more when we played in front of Loyola. I was already impressed, but I was even more impressed when you started playing where it was an even higher purpose.
Right.
With a coach, a head coach right there. And of course they like you as well. But like you say, you're talking about a school with 2 point guards, 2 scholarships left. And I think they have about 2 point guards already.
Right.
We know you could mix it up with those point guards. I also asked the coach, do you have any guys that you're signing that would like to go against my group? They didn't want to, they didn't want to.
They want that smoke.
I'm not saying they couldn't. I know their practice was no more than an hour, right? So it ain't like they could have been, I don't want to, paint that picture. But
absolutely.
If you got any guys like that was on the fence, I know our guys was like, yo, man, everybody was like, yo, could we run against them? I was like, man, look at these guys.
That's the same thing I was saying.
That was the mindset. That was the mindset. But like you said, you never want to come in anybody's house and be disrespectful.
Absolutely.
So, but that was just the competitive nature in mostly our guys, and it was the right kind of energy. It was a negative. It was like positive peer pressure, if you will. So, So let me ask you this. As this GSU camp, would you recommend this camp to a JUCO and a high school guy to attend? this unsigned camp, the GSU, the Gulf South Unlimited camp. What do you have to say about the camp this weekend?
So first, would I recommend the camp? Absolutely, I would recommend the camp. I actually did recommend the camp to one of my other teammates because I know he was kind of in the same situation, but I know like his talent level can take him a long way, and he has a good character. He's a good person, but he's just not getting that light he needs. So this camp for me, going into this camp, I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest with you. It could be an elite camp. It could be a camp full of little kids. You never know. But when I got there, I felt a good vibe. I felt the vibe of come with your game, not your name. Come here to work. And if you're not ready to work, what are you here for? You can go back home. The camp for me, the competition level, it was a high level competition. Everybody played hard.
Every game was close. Every game was close. Look,
I
don't want to say this, but I'm going to say it. I think one of the referees got too much involved. The other ref let everybody play.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to have to take a consensus on who do they want. Because I'm like, yo, bro, we don't need text. We ain't trying to call text. We trying to get the right kind of footage. But y'all guys was playing so hard. I guess he had to because y'all guys was playing hard. Y'all was competitive. And you're like, yo, hold on, man, you got to call that, blah, blah, blah. So he took it. He felt the way, which it started getting almost like a real, like a playoff type of atmosphere where guys is getting a little touchy. And I kind of wanted him to call the fouls early so we could move on. So I just think that he didn't. He was like, yo, you need to play through that. And I'm like, bro, we got to send all of these guys back in one piece.
Right.
So call that early. But I think he got the point later on. But please continue about the competition.
The competition level was great. Like I was just about to touch on that too. We were going at each other, but I feel like it was a control going at each other. Like nobody was maliciously trying to hurt anybody. Everybody was playing good defense. And as you said at the beginning of the camp, if a guy has a dunk, if a guy has a wide open lay, just let him go. Everybody's trying to go home in one piece. And I think everybody respected that to the point where we were still playing as hard as we can and not just letting you go past us. But if you got the lay, go ahead. We're not trying to hurt you. The other thing I will say about that camp is I could proudly say almost all the older guys that I played against, I'm in contact with them still. So I have those connections and all of that. That's some stuff that a lot of people don't really value, is making those connections. And I actually do value them because a lot of those people are not from the same state as me. They're from the other side of the country, from the other side of the
look, you might end up playing with one of them already.
Exactly.
Or maybe two guys. You get what I'm saying to you?
Exactly.
See, the kid, Matt Norrie, even look, this young fella is a good young man. He called me about helping another guy go to the school that he was attending he's attending right now. And he was looking to help somebody else. Just goes to show you the type of guys that we had at the camp.
Absolutely.
So, okay, continue. So I'm just glad that you guys built some relationship after that.
Yeah.
You know?
So
because even the one guy I thought was a lone wolf, he came around at the end. You know, he came around at the end. He real cool with Troy. So I mean that to me, that's what this is all about. That's what this is all about.
Mm-hmm. So the other part, the whole experience of just being out there, because obviously I'm not from there, but the whole experience of just being at that camp, being in that competitive environment, it was just a great feeling. Like that's a place where, some people might see it as vacation, but you can also go out there and get your work in. Like I went out there with my girl. Yeah, I was focused on the camp. That was my main focus. But like 100%. There was also after activities like the Jazz Fest. I got a chance to stop by and see the Louisiana culture and all of that. I got to eat some good food. I got a beignet. I got to come back and get a glazed beignet. I didn't try that one yet. But everything about the camp, it was just a great experience, and I definitely will go back.
You gotta come back. What you mean? You coming back next year, man? We got to make sure all our guys, are available. Cause why? We got to continue building something where these young men understand that there's options out here outside of just AAU as a way of connecting with coaches. So let's talk a little bit about. You can talk about me a little bit. You can talk about Cliff and the things that we're doing behind the scenes, so guys can understand this is just. I would like to use the term a one-stop shop because we bring you the competition. We're trying to connect you with right people. We're putting you in the right atmosphere, and we want to see you grow, right? That's the deal. So let's talk about that a little bit.
All right. So first and foremost, I want to thank you once again for inviting me out there and making
Hey,
sure
you know that goes out to Big Rob, man. We got to shout Big Rob.
of course.
Rob, my guy. Rob Wright, he connect me with you. He said, Coach, Coach, you're gonna like me. And me and Rob played together in high school. So he told me, yo, listen, you're gonna like him, man. He's a
Yeah.
really real point guard. So we got to shout out to Big Rob for that, man.
Shout
For
out to Big
sending that,
Rob. I
man.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
You know what it is when I see you. But I'm gonna start with you first.
Okay, cool.
You made sure when I got there, you made sure everything was good. If I needed a ride, you were able to help me. You were around and you actually helped me more than you think. So obviously I didn't know anybody out there, but being able to connect with one of the leaders and one of the coaches there, that also helped me my whole time there. So it was easier to navigate through the camp. It was easier to understand certain things. Like, for example, that one drill we were doing when we were doing a pass out drill and you either shoot it or you pass it. I didn't know what the whole drill was until you came back down and then you further explained it like, nah, you guys aren't doing this right, because there are going to be some people that think they know what they're doing, but they're just standing there just watching sometimes. So I definitely appreciate you for all you've done. You definitely do your end, and we have to do our end, of course, for you to do your end.
Yeah, definitely. You got to have players, man. You got to have guys
Absolutely.
that's going to be competitive and the right kind of guys, so it matters. I mean, when you're lucky to get a group like we had, I mean, that was more than a blessing to me. That made me talk to Cliff about, us renting out a big enough house and have certain guys come down and train for about 2 weeks just to add to your guys before y'all go to college. Even if that's in July, we got things like that. By then, we should be able to have some decisions before where y'all guys go where y'all going. So there's a lot of things that we know we can add to guys. So we appreciate y'all.
Absolutely. And the one thing I want to say that some people might not think is being done is the networking part. Yeah. So I'm gonna say this. The camp obviously was last weekend. It's been a week since then. A lot of people, they might think to themselves, well, oh, I didn't get a call this day, I didn't get a call that day. It's not really about when you get the call. It's about if you get the call and how good that call is. So, for example, for me, if I get a call telling me, yeah, we're trying to offer you, come to this school, we have X amount of money, we have this, and this. That's a great call for me off rip because I was not in that position before I came to this camp. So anything I get is already a blessing. And I feel like you and Coach Cliff, y'all doing y'all part behind the scenes. Yeah, it might take some time, but you guys are also busy. Everybody's human. Everybody has stuff to do. But the networking part that you guys do and your network is huge. And I don't think people understand that, because I went to the camp and you know me, I like to network. I like to ask certain people what's what. And I asked somebody like, yeah, like, have you been here before? Like, do you know about this? He was like, yeah, I train with him. I'm like, word? Like, how do you like the training? He was like, it's good training. Like, it's high level training. It's something I actually will recommend if you were out here and all of that. And just being able to hear stuff like that from people who don't even know me, because they have no reason to lie to me. So it's not fabricated, but hearing stuff like that and seeing what you guys do for the players behind the scene, and you don't have to do that. That is greatly appreciated.
Listen, it's hard to be authentic, man.
Yeah.
Trust me. It's a lot of fluff out there. It's hard to be authentic, and then at the same time to follow up, right? Right, because the camp is not expensive. Right. You're talking about $75 for the day. You got camps out here that's $300 or $400.
Absolutely.
It's fluff. It's fluff. They don't really have the connections. They ain't really gonna call nobody. Once you leave that gym, it's like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So you already had coaches calling. Cliff had some guys on phone with coaches right where we was doing our seminar piece. Talk a little bit about the seminar, what you learned from it.
All right, so the seminar, we watched 3 videos. The first video we watched, I'm pretty sure it was the ins and outs of JUCO. The second video was explaining the divisions and the levels from D1 all the way down to JUCO and potentially prep. And then the last one is why not to go JUCO, but not that video didn't mean anything to me, but I already went JUCO, so it's kind of too late.
But you want people to think, listen, when they tell you go to junior college, that's not an easy work. That's for the people you got to have that grind like him. You got to say, all right, cool. I might, like you say, oatmeal is better than no meal. I don't know what I'm eating that night. Blah, blah, blah. I got to hang out into the resources, And then we broke down the divisions, Division 1 just have more resources.
Absolutely.
Then D2 have a certain amount of resources better than D3 and so on and so forth. So what they're saying is you got to man up. Absolutely. You might not get the best situation. And like you come to the table with resources And I can tell your parents is doing dynamite because they're going to go with you out when you go out to Cali to visit these 3 schools. So we're going to hook him up with 3 schools to go visit. Then he got to make his choice. What he want to do with his future. So we know that got to be within May-ish to June, first 2 weeks in June. So he can start getting himself prepared to move out to school and do all the XYZ thing. So I know you want to talk a little bit about Cliff and whatever else you want to say, because I'm open to hear.
I just want to say about Coach Cliff, like, he might seem quiet to y'all. He might not be around sometimes, but that's because he's working his magic on that phone. As you mentioned, he definitely has. I saw at least 5 to 7 players on the phone with a coach during the camp, whether that was during us playing, during us talking, during a seminar, during lunch, anything. He was doing his part. And the one thing I definitely want to bring up that a lot of people might not feel is important is the fact that you guys respond in a timely manner. And you give us the time of day to have these type of conversations and these type of interviews. Like, for example, I know for a fact I've had at least over 5 phone calls with you since the last time I saw you. There's a lot of coaches who don't even call back, who won't text you back. These are great guys. These are great guys.
Look, let me tell you something. And I know that when we sent the link, that link was very important to you, right?
Yes.
When you saw that link, talk about the link. We sent you the link. You got to see yourself. You're like, oh, I could fix my game. I could do different things. That's why by the 3rd day, that Monday, you was already in different mindset. Right. You already was like, all right, I'm going to play differently. I could play with this guy this way. And look, I told a few guys, you made so many guys look good that I think they was ill prepared from the passes that you made. Like yo, big fella, like, we want to get you in the school, but you got to finish that. You know, we still basketball people at the day. We close it, we're like, yo, dog, you got to finish that. You got to dunk that. And you was like, yo, dog, I'm trying to get out to a situation, you know?
Yeah.
So, man, look, man, I know I could talk to you all day long, man.
Absolutely.
I don't like to be more than a half an hour. We got to chop this up, man. We're going to post it on YouTube on the Go Us podcast. My last point to you, man. Do you have any questions for me? Anything you want to ask?
When's the next time I can come back out there for a workout? I'm trying to come back.
Listen, that's the easy part. Anytime you want to set something up, let me know. And I have the college guys out ready for you because we got a lot of guys. So a lot of guys didn't come to the camp because they had different things. Some guys signed contracts. Some people did their things. So a lot of them said, so we always here for you, man. That's what the Gulf South Unlimited is about. It's about being here throughout basketball, right? Because it's bigger than basketball. I think the biggest and the hardest thing to learn in life, the biggest thing, I think the hard teaching understand that it's bigger than you.
Right.
And that's why, Gulf South Unlimited said, I'm nothing without the village. I need you guys. You guys need me. And we need all the people that help both of us, man.
Absolutely.
So look, man, we always say, go you, go me, go us. I appreciate you, bro. Anything else, man? Thank you, man. We always here. Look, we get you one more school in Cali. We gonna have 2 already. We got to get you one more, and you're gonna go out and visit, man. So we're gonna get that together. You know how to reach me, that's for sure. Matter of fact, let me put that up right now. Anybody that want to reach me, right? You got that? Let that roll through a few times, and then I got to make sure they can reach you, right?
Yep.
Right. So we want to make sure the coaches can reach you. Let that run through a few times. Okay. Let me close that out and let's get you. So now let the coaches know, anybody that want to reach out to you, how can they reach you? How can they get in contact with you? Let them know all your handles.
Okay. I could be reached on Twitter at _Tybola. Let me just make sure that's correct. Yep, _Tybola. That's 2 Y's and BALLA. I could be reached on Instagram at slick.ag, SLIXK.ag. My phone number is 845-893-0659. Once again, that's 845-893-0659. And my email is tyriddle08@gmail.com. I'm always available 24/7. My phone is open.
Yes, man. Great young man. And listen, coaches, you won't be disappointed taking this guy as your point guard, man. And if you haven't, you're lucky to have him for his last 2 years. You're gonna love the fact that you have a guy that's solid. And he's not one of those guys that's full of themselves and all of the stigma that comes with New York City. He's not that guy. He's just a straight up guy. Learned well from his father and his mother and father. He's a good point guard, good person. He's a really good person. And if you're looking for a point guard and you're struggling with that, or you have a good point guard that sometimes that's inconsistent, any of those things, he's gonna be the difference maker. And I think if I had a college right now, since Lazarus went to, I would take him because I know it's everything that he brings to the table. I know he'll run a whole practice, and the guy's gonna respect him as a player, and he's not gonna do things to make those guys not appreciate what he brings to the table. So once again, go you, go me, go us, and thank you so much for the interview, man. And we'll be talking soon, very
Thank you.
soon.
I appreciate you.
We're gonna talk after this. Thank you, man. Be safe. We're gonna
Thank
talk
you. Have
soon.
a good one. Appreciate it.
Yep, we're gonna do it.